dominating somebody is a beautiful gift that needs to be honored and cherished. It's not a right. Don't walk around being like, bow before me, my minions. Welcome to My Orgasmic Life Podcast, a show where we talk about sex, love, relationships, and kink. And of course, my favorite part, I share with you my very graphic, very juicy, and always entertaining orgasmic life. I'm Gaia Morrissette, your hostess, and your holistic sexual wellness specialist, your trauma healer, your BDSM expert, and of course, your pro-dominatrix. The show is inspired to inspire you to support your orgasmic living. Remember, always check the content warning before you listen, and make sure you're listening where no one else can hear it, because you never, ever know what I'm going to say, because I always come with an explicit graphic content warning. Now, strap in and enjoy the show. Welcome. Boom, chicka, wow, wow. Welcome to another episode of My Orgasmic Life. I am your BDSM Wellness expert, your pro-dominatrix, Empress Gaia. Okay, so before we get into our juicy topic, which is don't be an asshole Dom, I want to take a couple moments to do some housekeeping things. First of all, Belgium. I'm giving a shout out to Belgium. Thank you for being amazing, Belgium, listening, my listeners. I'm in Canada, and I just love that how actually my listening audience in Belgium is growing. I love it. So keep it all up, and let me know if you ever need me to come to Belgium. Put on some retreats and some workshops. Who knows? All right. If you're from Belgium, reach out to me. I would also love to hear what you really enjoy about the show. That goes for all of my listeners. I want to hear your feedback. Please give us feedback. We're changing up the episodes. We're changing up the show. We're making it better. We're doing all sorts of new stuff. So if you like something, let me know. If you don't like something, let us know. Okay. And the ways that you can give us feedback, you can go to Instagram. Follow me on Instagram under My Orgasmic Life Podcast, as well as on Facebook, My Orgasmic Life Podcast group. And you can put your comments in with each episode under the link of each episode. All right. Now, just a loving reminder to all my amazing audience that just like get so excited at times. When you are reaching out to me, please be giving me feedback about the show or reaching out to hire me professionally. I am not available for sex, dating, marriage, or having anybody's babies. Just a loving reminder. All right. So, how not to be an asshole Dom? And when I say Dom, it's non-gender. So you can be any gender that you identify as a dominant. And I'm referring to you all who choose to behave in this manner. So why do I want to do this episode? I want to do this episode for a couple different reasons. The first reason is that I have a bunch of friends recently who are looking for their own personal Dom. In their own relationship dynamics. And I've heard all these horrible dating stories and horrible behaviors and just like awful shit. And so I thought, well, you know what? If you're new and you're new to the world of BDSM and you're new to the BDSM community, you may not know that your behavior is coming off as abusive, disrespectful, asshole, jerk face. You may not know that. You may think that because you identify as being a dom or a dominant, that this is the appropriate behavior. And so I thought I would do an episode to showcase that those are not, that these particular behaviors are not sexy, okay? And are quite disrespectful. And for all the submissives who are out there who are like, I know, and you're looking and you need some support, you can reach out to me and we can create some profiles and help you with some vetting process. Also, I did a really fantastic 3 episodes that you might really love if you're in the BDSM dating world, okay? So the first episode is episode 48, BDSM dating. That's a good episode to start. Then then episode 49, there was a series 3. Episode 49 is Find Your Dream Submissive. And episode 50 is Find Your Dream Dom. Those episodes go into depth, what you're looking for, what you need. Check it out. You might really enjoy it. Okay. So let's talk about what it means to be a good dom. Well, being a dom is holding space. It's about allowing people to choose, consensually choose to surrender to you, to consensually decide to go into a power exchange interaction with you. It's about you just hold space and you allow others to negotiate what they want to experience with you. Versus what I see far too often is a commanding and an expectation that if you see somebody collared at an event, for example, that you expect them to, that they're your sub, or that they need to refer to you as master blah, 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 or sir blah, 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 or mistress blah, blah, blah. When that's, and to be submissive to you, even though that's not an agreement that they have made, is not consensual, and expecting somebody to do that without having a conversation with them is incredibly disrespectful. And because it's not consensual, you ordering people around is abusive. Okay, so this is really important. Now, there are circumstances in the community, in the BDSM community, that's all over the world, where it may be high protocol situations where everybody has titles. You might be in the leather community where everybody has earned their titles. So it's like the equivalent of calling somebody Dr. So-and-so. But if you are in casual munch situations or at a BDSM event that is low protocol and the protocol hasn't been decided and hasn't discussed it, then when you go to meet somebody, introduce yourself as your name without necessarily your title. Or you can say, this is my fet name, and this is what you can call me. Before you assume that they should call you master, sir, mistress, lord, leather pants. And then the extended version of this episode that will be available for my Patreon people, I will talk to you about Lord Leatherpants and where that comes from. Okay. So you really want to honor and respect everybody is your equal, because you haven't gone into a negotiation that there is a power exchange that is consensual. Don't assume somebody's wearing a collar that they're submissive. They may be submissive to one person, not the whole world. They may like just to wear a collar. There's lots of people who just like wearing collars and it has nothing to do with the power exchange or the kink. It might be part of their kink and have nothing to do with doing seeing themselves as submissive or dominant or any kind of power exchange. So please, just when you meet people in the community, just meet them like you meet normal people. And I hate to use the word normal people, but in a situation where there isn't these roles. Again, you don't need to, people, if you are, okay, so if you are dominant, like I am. Again, for those who don't know, my power hierarchy in my relationships and how I move in the world, in the kink world, is I am a dom, I am a pro-dom, I am a dom, across the board, except for I have one master, one person in the whole entire world that I have agreed, and we have this beautiful bond and this beautiful relationship where we have agreed to have this beautiful power exchange where I surrender and let go for him and for him alone. And so there's nothing worse than being at an event with him, for me to be in my, my beautiful collar and very much submitting and being a good submissive for my one master, and having some other asshole dom think that they get to dominate me, top me, boss me around, order me around, expect me that I'm going to, service them at an event. And trust me, that doesn't go well for them. I'm incredibly not only dominant, but I'm also incredibly alpha. And so I'm good with sharing space, sharing energy, sharing power, sharing all those kind of things. But if somebody tries to top me without my consent or respect, that's not going to go well. People have been known to cry, and it's not me. So the point is that don't make those assumptions. Another thing that I'm seeing and I'm hearing a lot from my friends who are in the BDSM dating world right now that they're struggling with is that this idea that if you identify as being a dom, that immediately somebody should give over their power to you. Fuck no. That's something that's earned. And I think this is really important. Being somebody's dom, dominating somebody, is a beautiful gift that needs to be honored and cherished. It's not a right. Don't walk around being like, bow before me, my minions. You're all worthless minions. Unless you've had a conversation with all those minions and they're all willing to bow to you and it's all negotiated and it's all good. But walking in the world assuming that others are going to do that makes you abusive, makes you disrespectful, makes you not actually a true, healthy, non-toxic dominant. Non-toxic doms respect others, period. I don't even need to explain that. It's just, you respect everybody. And if somebody is going to surrender to you, it's an honor. And it's an honor that they feel safe enough to trust you to do so. And it's an honor that you need to earn. It's not a right. It's something that you need to earn. And what are you going to do with that beautiful honor? Are you going to take care of it? There's lots of responsibilities. This is really important to understand, that being a dominant means there's a lot of work. It's actually way more work as a dom. You think externally, you look at it and you're like, wow, people do all this stuff for you. And like everybody wants to, worship you and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, but it's a lot of work. You got to take care of them. You got to make sure they're emotionally well taken care of. You got aftercare. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it. that's the beautiful gift of the power exchange. They get to not care. They get to not be in charge and not think. And you do the responsibility and the thinking as the exchange. So if you step into this idea that I like to be bossy, being bossy doesn't make you a dominant. That just makes you a control freak. Don't get me wrong. I also am a control freak and a recovering one at times. Okay. So there's no judgment in that, but there's a huge difference in those things. What else do I want to say about don't be an asshole dom? Please don't become a Lord Leatherpants. Well, first of all, the one thing I do want to say is I created this incredible online course that will help you be a great dom. If you're like, I want to learn to be a great dom, I want to be able to hold that space of safety and trust, and people surrender because they feel safe and they trust me, and I want to help them be the best version of themselves. And in exchange of that, they give me these beautiful gifts of trust and surrender and you know, worship and service and all sorts of beautiful things. And you want to learn how to be a great dom? Take that course. It's fantastic. Okay, so don't become a Lord Leatherpants. Be respectful. Be respectful of everybody that you come in contact with in the community. Do not assume somebody's wearing a collar that they are yours to boss around or try to dominate. When you are dating people, you need to prove you're safe, because, like, let's be honest, they're going to surrender to you, might behave and might end up in some activities that are pretty intense. So like bondage, for example, right? So if they're going to feel safe enough to surrender to you, for you to tie them up or restrain them in any capacity and take away their control of the situation, you better not be crazy. And you better have earned that. And if you expect that people are just going to give that over to you without any showing up, being there for them, letting them ask you lots of questions, having them interview you, then that means that you're not actually moving from that place of respect. What you're moving from is potentially dangerous and potentially abusive and incredibly harmful. And if somebody willingly is ready when they first meet you, like they haven't even done, you haven't had like an in-person conversation, you haven't gone over a conversation about hard limits lists, you haven't had expectations conversations, you haven't done any of those things, and they are like, yes, totally bend me over and spank me or gag me or breath play or tie me up, that means that there's potentially a problem, that the person doesn't love themselves enough, and there's probably some woundedness and trauma based there. So all of you good doms who are like, whoa, it's a red flag, okay? Make sure that that's a red flag. It's like, whoa, there's something going on here. And everybody else who's like looking for a dom, if that dom isn't wanting to have those conversations with you and asking you lots of questions and wanting you to ask them lots of questions, then that's also a potential problem, because that means that they don't understand the importance of building that trust. So be wary, be very, very, very wary. The other thing that's really important that I've seen a lot of, sadly, is people playing in the kink world under the influence of intoxication. And it's very important on both ends of the spectrum that people be sober enough to make consensual decisions. and to be able to be aware enough of what's going on in their body. So dangerous, death, injuries, these kinds of things don't happen, because some of the BDSM kink activities can be incredibly dangerous. Fun, if done sane, consensual, safe, sane, and consensual, they're fantastic. If not, bad things can happen. So if people are under the influence, they can't make those discerning choices. And the dom or the dominance, whoever that happens to be, has to be super vigilantly aware. Because if they're not super vigilantly aware, things can go sideways really, really quickly. And injuries can happen. So that's another piece. If you're planning on showing up at a play party, make sure you're sober. If you're going to play, be sober. If you're going to play with somebody, make sure that they can make decisions so they can give consent. It's important to negotiate scenes so that you have consent. If this is a new play partner or a one-time experience, if it's an ongoing play partner, make sure you have a full conversation about hard limits, health concerns, physical concerns, emotional concerns, trauma-based, like all these things need to be talked about so it's safe. And again, being a dom isn't about the power of it. That's the happy byproduct of it. But if you are really power hungry monger, then you're probably acting like an asshole dom. You're not coming from a place of respect of others. And so I would lovingly invite you to re-look at what being a dom means and why do you want to be one? Is it just because you want to be an abusive? You want to be controlling and abusive? Then you might want to seek out some support and help to heal those things so that you can drop into holding space and receiving the power, not taking anybody's power away from them. You don't want to take anybody's power away from them. You want them to gift you the power. As that's why it's called power exchange. There's an exchange that happens. It's not one-sided where you take. Taking is toxic. Exchanging is healthy. Okay? So again, if you want to learn to be a great dom, go check out my online How to Be a Great Dom workshop. You can find that at GaiaMorrissette.com under my online programs. Now, if you were like, it's kind of intense, Gaia. I know. Wasn't nearly as fun as some of my other episodes. That's okay. We need to have these conversations sometimes. And if you're like, ooh, I totally want to find out about Lord Leatherpants and where that comes from, don't forget to become a Patreon member so you can listen to the extended version that has the story of Lord Leatherpants. All right. Don't forget to give feedback. You know all the places. And if you need support, please visit GaiaMorrissette.com. And if you're going to hire me and reach out to me, it's because you really want to share some feedback about the episode that you just listened to, or you're like, I really need your support and you want to hire me. And a loving reminder, I am not available for naked pictures, having anybody's bibbies, getting married, or having sex with anybody. Okay? Have a good day. Mwah. Bye-bye. Well, I hope today's episode inspired you, encouraged you, and of course, made you feel tingly inside. I just want to take a moment to tell you how much I appreciate the time that you spend and how I really deeply appreciate you listening. I do it for you guys, the audience, and I love and adore you guys. So, quick loving reminder, I am not available for naked pictures, getting married, having sex, or having anybody's babies. And when you want to spend more time with me in a professional capacity as your coach, your teacher, your educator, your facilitator, you can reach me at GaiaMorrissette.com. That's the gateway to all things Gaia. Now, if you're like, oh, I really wonder what's in the extended version. Well, find out on Patreon. Come join my Patreon for not only the extended version of this episode, but also bonus content, behind the scenes, all sorts of juicy stuff. I also lovingly invite you to follow me on Instagram, which the handle is My Orgasmic Life Podcast, where you can leave feedback and comments. Also come join me on Facebook at My Orgasmic Life Podcast Facebook group. And I really want to hear from you. I want to know how this show affected you. What did you learn? Was it inspirational? Did you agree? Do you disagree? I want to know, because I'm a little bit of a voyeur. So I want to know how am I affecting you? So please come leave some comments. Now, if you're like, but I don't want everybody to know what I'm thinking, which is okay. Sometimes we need privacy and we need to be anonymous. So you would like that option? We have that. You can email my slutty assistant, Layla, at GaiaMorrissette.com. Okay, listeners, until next time, may your life be filled with sexy exploration and orgasmic pleasure. Mwah. Bye-bye.